Hello, Gemini. Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead, my friends. How are you, Gemini? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I am throwing these cards on a Sunday, so that means tomorrow is the week ahead. And if you're not finding this reading today, you might find it tomorrow or a year from now. It can still resonate. It is a general reading, and it's always about predictions. So we've got three decks here. We've got the Sacred Destiny Oracle. We've got Kipper, and we've got the Lenormand. We are going to get a few from each of these, and then we're going to hit it up with some tarot, find out what's going on for you. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Gemini, we have community. I feel like either the community you're in is about to change in a really big way, or you're about to change communities. We've got the rainbow, which tells me that something really good is at the end of the rainbow. Also, I feel like it's a multicultural community, and that we do have the butterflies here. So either your community is changing, or you're going to be moving to a community that's changing. There is enlightenment. Maybe you're just seeing all the beautiful colors now that you didn't see before. I'm just saying, like, it feels like there's a lot of awakening or enlightenment energy here, that you're getting some downloads. We've got pink here. We've got the primary color here, of course, is violet, which tells me your third eye is opening. So possibly you might be seeing the things that you never saw before. This is exactly what happens when your third eye opens. You start to see people for what they are. You start to see situations for what they are. And I feel like when your third eye opens, you're like, how did I let that go on for so long? Gemini, I feel like that's sort of the energy here. And now you've got to take action. That's the thing. When you start to see things that you never saw before, when you see people in your life who have been taking advantage of you all along, and finally you just see it now, it feels like you can do nothing more than take action. You have to take action, because if you don't take action, then you're just enabling it. You're allowing it, right? So I feel like somebody here is sort of they're coming to life here, that the eyes are open, that you're seeing colors you never saw, colors of the rainbow, seeing, you might even be someone who is seeing butterflies, possibly. There is some sort of a focus here. What is the focus in the future? Focus in the future is openness. Yeah, it does feel like somebody is having some sort of an awakening here, starting to see things that you really never saw before. That's what it feels like here. Tell me more about Gemini, please. Tell me more about Gemini. Gemini, we've got occupation. Look, this could be a work thing, right? You could be seeing now things in the workplace that you never saw before. Ooh, somebody might be leaving a job. Somebody might decide that after seeing what they see, it's time to go. We do have sudden wealth. Look, you could be opening a business. This person is in an occupation, right? And this person also has a light above their head, which means that they're kind of intuitive with what they do. And when you're a creative person, you know, if you have creative energy, right? And you do mostly, Gemini, that if you have creative energy, you know that using the higher self to get the things that you want, like to get your creative juices flowing, is what's going on here. I feel like sudden wealth from the occupation. So it almost feels like somebody is going to be leaving a position, but is going to be paid to do so. So you could be getting a payout. Maybe you're close to retirement, and they're going to be giving you a large payout at the end of you leaving the job because of whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but we do have the coffin, which tells me something is ending. But understand that it's card number 19, which is the sun. So I don't think it's a bad ending. I feel like it's something that is supposed to happen in order to send you on a different path here. We do have sudden wealth, and we do have despair. So it almost feels like somebody here is maybe without a job. But although it feels, because it says here, not hiring, right? And this little sign here, it says not hiring. Maybe you're worried, but I feel like you're going to get a payout. So if you do lose the job, I feel like they have to pay you severance pay or something like that, because it says sudden wealth. So for those of you who have been at your job a really long time, maybe there's a reshuffling coming up here. But I want to say that you now see the whole situation for what it is because of the enlightenment. And it feels like you have to take action in some way here. We'll talk about that just a little bit more. You know what the thing is, I feel like you weren't happy there. With the imprisonment card, it feels like you weren't happy there. We have 11 here. We also have 11 here. 11, 11. It tells me there's a really big change happening here. You go from imprisonment to sudden wealth, but it's because of the loss of something. There is despair here. It's because of the end of something. And I feel like what it could be the end of is that you're no longer You're no longer the yes man, the yes ma'am. You're no longer that person. I feel like something's coming to an end because of your enlightenment. And so you have to take action. So I feel like something's changing in your community, in your work community. There might be a reshuffling of stuff that's going on in the place of work. Doesn't have to be that for all of you. But the coffin with the occupation definitely tells me that somebody is either quitting a job or is being pushed out. Maybe something is ending. The sudden wealth, I feel, could come from the occupation. And I feel like you are in despair, or you feel nervous or sad that this position has come to an end. But I feel like it's happening for a reason. We'll clarify just a little bit more. Tell me about the Lenormand deck. What do we need to know about Gemini here? You could even be leaving to start a business. We do have the wishing well, so I don't think that this is as bad as you think it is. It's going to feel terrible at the time because, look, if you've asked for change, if you asked for more money from the universe, or if you've been manifesting a better job, it only stands to reason that you are somebody who is going to have to lose your job in order to gain something else, right? And there might not even be something in between at this time. So we do have card number 41, we have card number 9, and then we do have card number 8, again carrying on the theme here. Card number 8 is the place where they lay somebody to rest, right? We do have the, what do they call that? Sarcophagus, that's what it is. And we do have the coffin. So the death card in both of these decks that are different decks, right? I do feel, Gemini, that there is something. Yeah, there's a bunch of change here because it does feel like there is something else that's coming to an end here. It does feel like it's a relationship. We've got the tulips here, and we have the Queen of Swords on the bottom right-hand corner. It feels like you are placing some boundaries or standing up and being heard. I want to say that you are standing up and being counted. Excuse me. You're standing up and being counted here. And you are trying to get some balance in your life, but it feels like you need to speak up and say something. I feel like you are becoming single. We do have the 9 of Pentacles in the bottom right-hand corner. It does feel like something's about to end for you, whether you end it for yourself because you are the Queen of Swords, feminine or masculine, or whether someone else ends it. But we do have the well. I think that this is something that you have been manifesting, wishing, hoping. But I feel like you have been staying on the surface with it and not really digging deep because it can get really scary at the bottom of the well. It's very dark. It's very wet. You don't know what's down there, right? Like it feels like it was something that was scary for you to do. But it does feel like through some type of an enlightenment, now you have to take action because now you have really seen that you've been stuck there, or you're feeling imprisoned, or feeling like you couldn't make a decision about what you wanted to do for your own life. The sun is out. That's what it is. It's a breakthrough and a realization. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which tells me you're going to be putting yourself on a new path. Card number 31, you could be doing it by the end of the month. Could be doing it by the end of the month. Yeah. All right. Let's look at some tarot. Let's get some tarot on it, Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Hey, Gemini, if you're interested in a private read, please look below this video. I do have a pinned comment there at the top of the comments that gives you all the information you need to get over to Wizio to see my pricing and my wait times, all of that stuff. Go ahead and take a look. All right, tell me what else is coming up here for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We do have the 9 of Wands. Look, I feel like this is something that was supposed to happen because I feel it's almost like you overstayed. You stayed too long somewhere. And I feel like you have been avoiding leaving. And I feel like it was time to go, but I feel like you didn't want to go. We have the Devil energy here. It feels like for some of you it's about work, and for others of you it's about relationship. For some of you it's about both. You're going through all sorts of change right now. We've got the 3 of Swords. There is a heartbreaking ending that is coming up here. We have the King of Pentacles, we have the Judgment card, and we have the Page of Wands. For those of you who are listening and not watching, I came up with the 9 of Wands, the Devil card, and the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is under the the sarcophagus here. So it feels like something is being laid to rest. And I feel like it is heartbreaking, but it's necessary. I want to say it's necessary because I feel like you're supposed to be on a new path. It does feel like it is your own decision, I want to say, Gemini, that it is your decision, that you are cutting the ties from something that was very codependent. It feels like this decision is something that you're making with great clarity. I do feel that the universe is telling you it's time. It's time for you to carry on to the next path. But I feel like for some of you, you need to be pushed out of something first because you won't go. It might be something, security of a job, right? We do have the King of Pentacles here. I want to say for those of you who are being pushed out of a job, I don't think that there's a whole lot to worry about. It feels like you're already prepared, or you have enough in the bank, or, you're going to be okay for the next couple of months until something else comes along. Look, some of you might be pushed out of your job or feel like you have to go, and you might end up starting a business because we do have the Nine of Pentacles in the bottom right-hand corner. Something might be ending so you can get your confidence, so you can stand up for yourself, so you can learn to build something on your own from one pentacle to the 10. I feel like there is doubt and fear. It feels like there is a Gemini who is going to be standing up and cutting someone out, going on a different path, making a decision to get rid of this devil energy. It's like no matter what goes on around you, if I'm talking about a relationship, it doesn't feel right. Something feels off for you, Gemini. And so I feel like if you do go, that's the reason that you will go. Yeah. And it's a lot to do with being exhausted. I'm going to say that this hasn't happened for you yet because this is for the week ahead, which starts tomorrow. But it feels like you're right around the corner from some sort of a breakthrough financially. So whether you end up with a better job that pays better, or you leave a position in order because you've been promoted, take it as it resonates for you. But it feels like it's something that has to happen. You must be on this new path here. That's what it feels like. Tell me about this stuff over here. I'm going to just clarify really quickly this occupation in the coffin, the sudden wealth with despair. What is this, please? Clarify this and tell me what's going on. Tell me about Gemini, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We do have the Knight of Swords. This is going to come swiftly. So for some of you, this is going to happen in the week ahead. It could be the place you're working for shuts down. The place that you're, where you do your occupation. I feel somebody is going to be coming at you, Gemini, with some sort of communication to let you know what is up here. The King of Swords. It could be the person who owns the place. To me, the King of Swords is usually the person who's making the best decision for everyone involved, and they do it head over heart. They don't have a horse in the race. Do you know what I mean? They're just doing it from a business standpoint. They're doing it because of the facts, because of this is the way things need to go. In order for things to work out in the financial world, I must make a decision. The King of Swords is here. And so this King of Swords is facing this head on here. And I feel like this King of Swords is going to be speaking with you. Tell me more. And I think you knew it. The thing is that if you are someone who does rely on your intuition, and everybody has intuitive measures, right? We all have our intuition. Some of us choose to ask other people for the answer and not listen to our own intuition, but we all have it. And I feel like you are one who is quite spiritual. Your intuition is on high. And I think you knew that this was coming. That might be why we see the King of Pentacles. You might have been already preparing for this, feeling like something was going to come. Feeling like the end of something was going to come. But it's not going to leave you without money. That's the thing. The sudden wealth is here in the King of Pentacles, which tells me they give you a payout or something like that. They give you a payout, some sort of financial support. Tell me what else we need to know, please, for Gemini. We've got the Five of Cups. It is something that's going to not make you feel good. You're going to feel sad because you're not only leaving behind a job and the security of having one, but it's also the people that you work with, right? But I feel like I want to say that the universe saw you getting weary, saw you getting exhausted, getting tired, and living or working in a toxic environment might be what is draining on your energy. And although I feel that it may have been that way for some of you, a toxic environment, I feel like this ending came because it was supposed to. I feel like you overstayed, or you shouldn't have stayed there as long as you did. take it as it resonates, right? If we're looking at this in terms of relationship, because I'm kind of popping back and forth, I hope that I'm dragging you along with me and not getting too confusing, but the World card here tells me that you feel like you are stuck or chained to some sort of relationship that you know just is not something you want to stay in for the long term. That there are a lot of feelings here. I want to say with the card number 9 here that you thought about it a lot. That's Hermit energy, right? Hermit in the tarot is card number 9. That you've been feeling in lack in this relationship. Card number 41 is a 5. You've been feeling in lack in this relationship for a while, and it's time for you to finally say something, Queen of Swords. It's time for you to liberate yourself from the situation, because you know that it's either toxic or it feels scary or fearful, you don't feel safe there, or whatever it is, but you are making some sort of big decision to close a big chapter of your life. So look, whether that is this place that you've worked at for 100 years, or if this is a relationship, I feel like there is some sort of chapter that is closing. A major ending is coming here. We do have the 8 of Cups, which tells me we're walking away, disconnecting emotionally. So if this is you, we're talking about a relationship. It does feel like you might be making a decision in the week ahead. Finally, something that you've been thinking about that's been weighing really heavy on you emotionally. I feel like you've decided, I can't deal with the 3 of Swords anymore. I can't deal with the disappointment or the knowing that, you know, I'm feeling in lack, that I don't want to go any deeper into this relationship, right? The well is here, the bucket's at the top. I don't want to go any deeper into this relationship than we are in right now. It does feel like somebody here is about to end something with somebody else, if we're talking about a relationship here. And for those of you who are in a committed relationship, this King of Swords could be someone who is a lawyer, who's coming to divvy up assets, that kind of thing. But it feels like the World card is here. We're closing the chapter, but I want to say that you are accomplishing this. Like, don't look at it as a negative. I'm going to say this might be a negative situation, but the fact that the door is closing, I feel is something that is positive for you. It's an accomplishment or a milestone, and you don't see it just yet because you're busy being deep in your feelings and walking away and feeling detached. And, you know, the devil energy is here, but I feel like this big change, this change here, right? That when the Judgment card shows up, it's the universe telling you that this is coming at you 100%. All you can do is react or respond. And I feel like the way you respond is you're like, fine, then I'll just go. I feel like that's what it is. You or the other person is like, fine, I'll just go then. Tell me why the World and the 8 of Cups is here. We have the 2 of Swords. I feel like you waited a long time, like with the 9 here being the energy of the Hermit and the 2 of Swords here. I feel like you didn't want to hurt anybody. Gemini, I don't think you did this for any terrible, horrible reason. I feel like this is legitimately someone who's realized that they're in something that is not working out for them. And I can't live here for the rest of my life in this situation. It feels like somebody's been blocking themselves from their emotions, or we've been emotionally detached for a while, and now it's just time to close the door. That's what it feels like here. Tell me about the 2 of Swords. You've been stuck in this 2 of Swords for a while, but finally you had to wait for the inspiration to get some sort of stability here. I feel like you're bored in this relationship. It feels like you feel chained to a person. Maybe they're asking you or wanting you to do things that they want you to do rather than doing what you want to do. And it might be somebody who's kind of like dragging you along in the relationship, right? We do have the Moon energy here. We have the 8 of Wands, and then we have the Hanged Man energy, which tells me that you do need to communicate about your perspective. You've gained a new perspective, and I feel like somebody is leaving some type of a relationship here, but you're waiting for the right time to do it. The Moon tells me that things aren't really as they seem, and that you are getting ready to leave a job, or for some of you, maybe you don't know that the job is ending, and that's not for everybody. Take it as it resonates for you. And if it is for you, if this job is ending, you already know about it because the High Priestess is here. I'm only confirming your intuition. You're in a place where you know that the doors will be closing, or that somebody else is going to be coming. Maybe you're in a temporary position and someone's coming back to their position, but somebody knows that this is going down. So I feel like the perspective is going to be confirmed, and I feel like you are going to be talking to the partner that you're with if this is a relationship thing. time. I feel like it doesn't go any further than here. It feels like you don't want to get any deeper into this relationship than you're already in. It's time for you to have some justice here. And I feel like your justice is to go, to be inspired to leave and go out and do what you want, get the thing that you want, rather than having to be dragged along by someone else's agenda. Like, it almost feels like you're in a relationship, like maybe two people are in a business and one person started the business and the other person is not really interested in that business but supports the spouse and is being dragged along in that. Like, it could be something like that, but it feels like it's become bored. You become bored with the situation already. And I feel like you haven't had the nerve to say anything because you know it's going to cause heartbreak, right? We have the Three of Swords here and it's weighing heavy on you. So I feel like in the week ahead, somebody here is having a breakout here. You're breaking out, maybe possibly adjudication might be something that is having to be done, right? Somebody who's legal, taking care of things here. But I feel like this is coming pretty quick, whether it is the relationship ending or is the job ending. It does really feel like that there is an ending. Now look, every ending always has a new beginning. So it does feel like when the World card is here, the Fool is sure to show up soon, right? We do have the Tower. So look, the Tower shows up when we've asked the universe for something different than we have, different than we've always gotten. If we're willing to say to the universe, look, can you please help me? Teach me faith. Teach me how to move forward. Please get me out of here. Help me have the strength to. That's when the Tower comes. And so everything that you thought you wanted up to here is not what you really wanted. And that's why the Tower shows up. It shows up for mercy. And it puts you on a path where you now have to take charge of your own life. We've got the Emperor here. You now have to take charge of things that you never thought you'd have to take charge of by yourself here. But we do have the Three of Pentacles telling me that you do have a community that will help you. The Chariot in the reverse tells me that you're not really sure what you're going to do when you leave here. But I feel like your focus is that you want to be open to whatever the universe is handing to you because you know that change leads to happiness. Eventually it does. The change is hard. Change is always hard. It's always super tough. But we have to invite the change if that's what we want. If you are leaving here, if this is ending, we have to have the change in order to move forward, right? So I'm going to leave that right there, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. You guys take care, and I'm out. Bye-bye.